Was Saturday, back home from work. It's been a busy week. Had to work 2 nights this week. I'm a little tired. But I did, like Chevaholic, do a little work on a small block last night. I swapped the preacher, the heads off this motor, which was in the car when I met Mrs. Heavy Chevy a long time ago. And swapped those heads for a 283. This motor would run back in the day. First thing I'm going to do is clean up some extra stuff I don't need, like that seat and the radiator and some other stuff, I'm sure, and put them in a different storage facility. Think that's a good idea?
Yep.
Is Mommy making you do her dirty work, bud?
No, I'm fine doing her dirty work.
Well, that's good. Alright, working on the instrument panel here. This is the oil pressure gauge, and it takes this, let me lay it down there so it can focus, inverted flare nut, I guess that's what you call it. Luckily I happen to have one in my assortment there. Always good to have an assortment. So I can get the oil pressure line run. I'm going to use this copper line. I think they thought that stuff was gold down there at the parts store, but it's just copper. And then here on the temperature gauge, the gauge I bought is 3/8 of an inch deeper than this panel. They said it was 55 to 59, but evidently not. So I made this little cup. When I get done with that, hopefully the temperature gauge will fit in there properly. It's an electric one, where before it had a capillary tube on it, which somebody nipped off. And I will put that together. Got my air conditioning working, Chevaholic. You know, I got this fan on a job. I stopped by a job one day and they were throwing away a bunch of these fans, so I gathered up a few. And on this one, the only thing that was wrong with it was that switch. So I think for about $4, I got a pretty nice fan. It's fun to scavenge. Alright, back to the instrument panel. I know nobody cares about my fan. But here we are, we got the temperature gauge mounted in there. Looks pretty good. Everything seems to line up. And then we're moving over to the oil pressure gauge. I was pretty proud of myself. I found that nut in my stash. Trouble is, it was used already. When you tighten it down, it crimps on the tubing right there. Since I've already asked down at the auto parts store and they give me blank looks, I decided I wasn't going to go back there. So I got an 1/8 inch transfer punch and drove it through there, which decompressed it. And now it fits on the tube. I think we're going to be in good shape. Alright, I got the wiring and everything completed for the instrument panel. The only thing I got left to do is fix this speedometer cable that's broken. And Napa sells a handy little kit here. You just cut it to length and crimp that end down. So we're going to give that a whirl. I ain't sure what she's doing. Alright. Got the instrument panel in. I just got to crawl behind it, install the speedometer cable, and hook up the voltmeter. I mean, not the voltmeter, the amp meter. And we should be good to go there. And I think paint's about dry on the transmission cover. Maybe Mrs. will install that.